Jack Torrance takes a seasonal job as the winter caretaker of the Overlook Hotel, hoping the isolation will help him focus on his writing and repair his relationship with his wife Wendy and their young son Danny. Jack is trying to rebuild his life after losing his teaching job and battling alcoholism, and he sees the hotel as a place where he can prove to himself and his family that he can stay in control. Wendy is hopeful but cautious, knowing how fragile Jack's progress has been. Danny, meanwhile, has a strange gift he barely understands. He sees things before they happen and senses thoughts from people around him. These flashes come suddenly, like someone turning on a bright light in his mind, and they often leave him shaken. Before the family arrives, Danny meets Dick Halloran, the hotel's cook. Halloran instantly recognizes that the boy has the same psychic ability he does, something he calls shining. He warns Danny that the hotel holds pieces of bad memories, like leftovers from past violence, and that some of those memories may try to get his attention. Most are harmless, he says, but a few are powerful, and Danny should avoid them if he ever feels trapped. If things ever become too much, Halloran tells him to call out with his mind. Danny doesn't fully understand what he might face, but he feels the warning settle into him like a cold weight. Once the hotel empties for the winter and the staff leaves, the Torrance family stands alone in a massive building surrounded by mountains and snow. At first the quiet feels peaceful. Jack throws himself into his routine, checking the boiler, fixing small things, and exploring the hotel's history through old records and scrapbooks. Wendy cooks, cleans, and tries to build a steady rhythm for Danny's schooling. Danny plays in the halls but stays close to his parents, sensing the hotel watching him in a way he can't explain. His gift picks up echoes from certain rooms, especially the infamous room 217, where something. Danny tries to stay away from the places in the hotel that trouble him, but avoiding them gets harder. The hallways grow colder, and shadows seem to linger longer than they should. He keeps the visions mostly to himself because he doesn't want to worry his mother or make his father angry. Jack has grown irritable, snapping over small things. He tells himself it's the pressure of the job or the long hours of silence, but the truth is more unsettling. Something in the hotel keeps whispering to him, telling him he deserves better than the life he has, better than the mistakes he made. The hotel feeds on his guilt and anger, twisting them into something sharp. Wendy sees the change but tries to ignore it. She wants to believe Jack can stay steady. She spends more time with Danny, taking him outside when the weather allows and walking around the playground near the hedge maze. The topiary animals in the garden make her uneasy. They never move when she's watching, but she sometimes feels as if their shapes shift slightly, like they're waiting for someone to get close enough. She convinces herself it's her imagination because the alternative would be too frightening to accept. Danny's shining picks up more activity as the days pass. The hotel feels alive, as if the cold walls have thoughts of their own. One afternoon he wanders too close to the playground. Snow falls lightly and the wind whispers through the branches. The topiary animals stand frozen, but he senses something wrong. When he turns his back, he hears the crunch of snow behind him, then another, then a deep, heavy rustling. He spins around, but the animals are still. His heart races. He knows they're moving when he isn't looking. He runs toward the hotel, terrified, and doesn't stop until he finds Wendy. Jack's obsession with the hotel intensifies. The scrapbook he found becomes his world. He starts writing again, but it's not the play he intended to finish. Instead, he pours his energy into the hotel's his. Danny wakes from his collapse shaken and pale. He knows the hotel is closing in, and he feels trapped between telling the truth and trying to protect his parents from fear they don't know how to handle. Wendy becomes more protective of him, keeping him close, watching Jack with growing worry. She starts to notice small things in the hotel that she can't explain, like doors standing open that she knows she closed or faint sounds echoing through empty hallways. She tries to stay calm for Danny, but she feels a tight anxiety building in her chest. Jack keeps drifting further away. He spends hours wandering the hotel, muttering under his breath, arguing with voices no one else can hear. The ballroom becomes his refuge. Each time he returns, it's as if another layer of reality peels back. The ghostly guests welcome him as if he belongs there. Lloyd keeps his glass filled without ever reaching for a bottle. The hotel flatters him, telling him he is important, that he deserves respect, that Wendy and Danny are holding him back. The more he listens, the heavier the resentment grows in him. The hotel brings Jack face to face with Delbert Grady, the former caretaker who murdered his own family. Grady appears calm and polite, dressed like a man who has been hosting a dinner party. He speaks softly but with cold purpose, telling Jack that Danny is dangerous to the hotel and must be corrected. Grady suggests Jack has a responsibility to manage his family the way Grady once did. Jack feels torn between horror and agreement, but the longer he listens, the more he feels trapped inside a current pushing him toward violence. Meanwhile, Danny's visions become more violent. He sees Jack in a way he has never seen his father before, his face twisted with rage, his eyes empty. He sees the hotel swallowing them all, room by room. He senses that something terrible happened there long before they arrived, and those memories are now reaching for him. The spirits want his shining, and they. The tension in the hotel reaches a breaking point. Jack disappears for long stretches, and when he returns, he walks with a strange confidence, as if something inside him has taken charge. His eyes look colder, his voice sharper. Wendy starts locking the bedroom door at night, holding Danny close while listening for footsteps in the hallway. She tries to think of a plan, but the storm outside has sealed every exit. Without the snowcat key, and with the phones dead, they are trapped inside a building that feels more alive by the hour. One night, Jack attacks the door to their room, swinging a mallet and shouting for them to open up. Wendy manages to shove Danny out through the bathroom window and tells him to run to a hiding place he knows well. Jack breaks into the room only seconds after Danny escapes. Wendy fights back, slashing Jack with a knife and barely getting away. She runs through the halls, calling for Danny, but the hotel seems to twist the spaces around her, making every hallway feel longer and every turn unfamiliar. Danny hides in the kitchen, frightened but trying to stay calm. He knows the hotel wants him and that it's using Jack to get him. When he finally comes face to face with his father, Jack's face is distorted with rage. But Danny doesn't run. Instead, he speaks to the small part of Jack that still exists, buried under layers of anger and influence. He calls him Dad. He tells him he isn't the hotel. For a moment, Jack freezes. Something flickers in his eyes. The hotel pushes harder, trying to force him to finish what it started, but Danny's words cut through the noise. Jack stumbles back, shaking, and the hotel loses its hold just long enough for Danny to escape. Jack, trembling and confused, remembers the boiler. He was supposed to check it regularly, but the hotel kept him distracted. Danny realizes what's about to happen: the boiler is overheating. The pressure is rising, and the entire building is minutes away from exploding. Wendy meet.